In addition to cooking and canning, I also enjoy quilting. And I'm in the process of trying to use up some of my fabric stash, and I'm planning a new quilt project, and I thought some of you might like to join me and quilt along with me. I think it would be a lot of fun. So, the project that I'm planning is a 9 patch quilt. Now, this is a 9 patch quilt that's on I've got spread on the back of the couch behind me. And the 9 patch is so named because the squares are made up of nine equal size, smaller squares that are put together to make the 9 patch, or the squares for the quilt. And then you use the fabric like the red and the blue that you see to strip it out with. So it's very easy to make. And so if you would like to join me, after I post this video in about a week, I will post another video listing the items that we need to make the quilt. And then the following video, and I'll post these videos about once a week. And the following video will be about the fabric that we need. And depending on what size quilt you want to make, now I'm going to make probably either just a full size or a queen size, which happens to fit my beds. Then I will give you the dimensions of the quilts and how much fabric you will need to make each size. You might want to start with just a throw or a baby quilt, but you could decide to do a twin size, a full size, queen, or a king size. So whatever you want to do, then we will discuss how much fabric you need to make that. Now I'm going to go through my fabric stash, and I probably have at least 6 big tubs of fabric that I've been gathering over the years and just haven't used for one reason or another. Some of them are just plain ugly pieces of fabric, and I don't know what state of mind I was in when I acquired those pieces of fabric, but I'm going to try to use some of them. Now, let me also say there's no such thing as an ugly quilt, not an ugly homemade quilt. Whatever you make, if there are mistakes in it, then they will still keep you warm at night. So, I propose that if you're interested in learning to quilt, if you've never made a quilt before and thought maybe that might be fun or a good thing to do, they make lovely gifts. I've made gifts for many, many people. My mother did the same. And as you know, people always appreciate homemade gifts. So, anyway, if you're the least bit interested, maybe you already know how to quilt, but you're maybe looking for a new project to do. So, you might want to join me in making this quilt. We might even do some live events where we can ask questions of each other. But if you're interested in doing this, you might mention in the comments that you're interested in quilting along. And I'll be posting about once a week the next part of the project. But during the time that we're actually putting the quilt top together, we may need more than one week, because in my case, I'm working full time again, so I may not be able to make the quilt top in one week. But I'll be posting other videos with information that you need or might want concerning quilting. because there are all sorts of aspects and to quilting and different ways of doing things. So I might post a video this week about one way of putting the patches together for a 9 patch, and then next week I might post a different way, and you can take your pick. But the other thing I want this project to accomplish is to let you know, just in case you don't know, but let you know that quilting does not have to be expensive. It can be a very expensive hobby because fabric is very expensive now, and I love the batiks. I love the way they look, and I like to make quilts with batiks. But the batiks are very expensive. So I'll give you some tips about how I acquire fabric. I'll also talk about the equipment that you need. As long as you have a good pair of scissors and needle and thread, you can make a quilt. But anyway, we'll talk about that at a later time. But if you're interested in learning how to make a quilt on a budget, this would be a good time to do that. So I would like it if you would join me. One additional thing I wanted to mention is that I'll still be posting my food related videos as well. So if you're not interested in the least in quilting, then just ignore those videos. So please leave me a comment, and thanks for stopping by.